Hi everybody, it's Kira and welcome back to my channel. So today I have challenge 7 of the Booktube-a-Thon, which is to talk about your favorite book. I'm sitting outside because I wanted it to be a little bit more of a casual video, so if you hear some wind noises or whatever, just know that that's because I'm outside. So I really like this challenge because it gives you a chance to talk about a book that you really like and why you really like it. And I also like that Ariel is choosing a winner at random because, as she put it, how are you supposed to rank that? So the book I'm going to be talking about was probably pretty obvious to anybody who has watched me or knows about me, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Now, I'm going to tell a story of how I found this book first. So it was about a year and a half ago, my senior year of high school. I was taking a class called Library Assistant, where I literally would just work in the library at school. And so our final project was to pick a book from this list, and then we had to pick a project from a separate list and just read the book and then do the project. Pretty simple, right? So there was a couple books on the list that really caught my attention. One of them being The Girl in the Blue Coat, actually, but I still haven't read that one yet. So I ended up picking An Ember in the Ashes, and I remember I took it home on a Friday because I was like, I'll read it over the weekend, then I can start my project on Monday. And I read this on Friday, devoured the entire book. Then I did something which was so unlike me. I went out to Books A Million and bought the second book on Saturday, because I had to know what happened next. So I fell completely in love with this book and this series, and it has come to just take over my life, and I love every minute of it. So one of the reasons I really love An Ember in the Ashes is just the writing style. I love Sabaa Tahir's writing. She writes her characters and her settings so well. I feel like I am actually there. And another reason is her setting it's a magical fantasy land, but it also feels like it could be real in some respects because it's kind of based on the Roman Empire. It's kind of a little bit. And so I feel like kind of already were familiar with some of the terms that were used in this book, and so you kind of knew what she was talking about when she talked about the different class levels and the different structures of buildings and things, because you already kind of have that background in your head of this is kind of Roman inspired. My favorite thing about this book though is the characters. I absolutely love the characters in this book. Laia is the best main character because she starts off as somebody who really wants to do the right thing but is terrified of doing it when it means putting herself on the line, even for her brother, and so she ends up running away from the situation. And she feels so much guilt about this that she decides she's going to go and do something about it. And throughout the course of the book, she goes through some awful things, but she always manages to find strength that's inside of her rather than physical strength. She does get physically stronger, I think, too, but it's way more about her spirit and her mental strength. And it's just the strength that she finds inside of her that really comes to shine. And I love her character development so much. She grows from this timid and scared young woman into this really strong and powerful adult, but she also still doubts herself. Even in the later books, she kind of doubts herself and her decisions, and she really just grows and develops so much in this book. And then the other main character, Elias, he also has a very interesting arc. When you meet him, he is a soldier in the army who wants to desert, but then ends up staying for these trials to possibly become the next emperor. And that isn't what he wants, but he ends up just finding his humanity. And I think that's something that's super important as well. Throughout this book, we see him struggle with his humanity. He's been a soldier for 18 years or whatever, and so he feels like him and all of the other students have gotten their humanity beat out of them, but he still is holding on to his humanity. And when he meets up with Laia is the person who ends up pulling that humanity from him, and just making him brave enough to act on that. And I thought that was super, super good. All of the other characters as well are really well done. The headmistress of the school, the commandant, Karis, is absolutely terrifying, and I really like that she is very cunning. She's often described as a small woman physically, but she is very cunning and very brutal and her punishments and just her everything and how she runs the school. And she's super, super scary, and I really enjoyed seeing a villain that I could love to hate. And then as the story continues, you get, like, in the second and third books, you learn more and more and more about these characters that you've grown to love. And it just, the story just draws you in. Another thing that I love about this book is the plot, because it is so twisting and has so many things that you wouldn't expect would happen, and it's really good because it's told in a dual point of view. It's really good at leaving off on cliffhangers and then switching to somebody else's point of view. So you get to the end of a chapter and it's like she draws the dagger down toward his stomach or whatever, and then like switches to the other person. You're like, wait, did that person survive? Are they okay? You know? And so it makes you want to keep reading and keep reading and keep reading so that you can find out what's going to happen. And I've reread this so many times, and I've tabbed it up a little bit. I've tabbed my couple of my favorite scenes on the top, and like I have reread this book so many times. And this is also one of the only books that I have dual copies of. For the most part, I don't see the point in keeping multiple copies of the same book because you have it while you need a second one. But they actually ended up changing the covers for Ember and Torch so that they could match the third book, Rebirth. So I do have a second copy of Ember, which is in the new covers, and I will be honest, I really like the old cover better, but I also really admire why they changed this, and they changed it because Sabo really wanted people of color on her cover. She really, really, really wanted to see underrepresented people on her covers, and a lot of people have been able to see themselves on the cover and in the main characters and be like inspired and empowered because of that. And so that's why, while these aren't my favorite covers, I will still continue to support them wholeheartedly because I see myself represented in like almost every cover ever, and so it's just really important to see other people represented. So that's why I enjoy this cover even though it is not my favorite. Plus now I have a copy to loan out to people while I can keep my tattered copy of Ember. One of the other best things about having this book and loving this book is getting other people to read this book. I think I texted my best friend Molly about this when I had finished reading Ember and went to go get Torch, because she knows that's something I don't usually do, and we have very similar taste in reading. And so she ended up, I think she borrowed my copy, I don't remember, but she read it and she fell in love with it too. And actually my dad is reading them right now on audiobook. He is reading Torch Against the Night, and it's just so much fun. And it's actually funny because he often will say now like bleeding skies, which is like their curse words, and it's just so funny that he also enjoys them. Sharing books with the people you love is one of the best things about reading, and is another reason why I really love this book, is that I've been able to share it with people who are important to me. So I think that really concludes my feelings. I just absolutely love this book. It's one of the best books I have ever read, and it will always be one of my absolute favorites. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you have not read Ember, please go read it. It is amazing. Comment down below and let me know what your favorite book is of all time or at the moment. I haven't decided if Ember is going to be like my favorite book of all time yet, because I feel like that's kind of hard to choose a favorite book of all time, but definitely for the foreseeable future, Ember is going to be my absolute favorite. Also, a big thank you to Ariel, Bassett, and to all of the other hosts of the Booktube-a-Thon. I have had the best time, and I just super have enjoyed participating this year, and my vlog will be hopefully going up within the next week here. So thank you again for watching. If you want to follow me on my social media, all my links are in the description as always, and I will see you guys next time.